flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, too good here. Right?
You were standing before anybody else.
Never said that. Oh, next thing is the minutes from the last meeting, and we're losing our
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Our Darcy.
Darcy.
No.
I think our last meeting. I thought the minutes was,
I just had
I
a,
think they were good.
well, I had a couple things. Golden. Jared Golden.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was an L missing in Golden. And then I thought that perhaps under the kayak information, Ginger Jordan Hillier, you might want to mention the fact that she was part of that spearheading. And
Okay, she's gonna,
well, she
Okay.
was also one of the people that spearheaded it too and brought from the age friendly. And the rec commissioner, it's not a rec commissioner, it's the rec commission. So I would say rec commission, take out position, because it's not a. Yeah.
Hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and this ordinance would eliminate the rec commission, I think it should be, it's a bunch of people, not one person, so. That's the end of my analysis.
there it is. There it is.
He's gonna just park in the fire lane.
Yeah, that's close. We have a spare fireman's light we can put on there.
Definitely not elected.
No, they need noisemakers for electric.
It's funny, but it is.
You can hear it, so you don't run people over.
Motion,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with those couple of corrections.
Second.
so Chris made a motion and Dennis seconded the motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. All those in favor? Thank you. Department reports. Chief?
Evening. Good things tonight. I have a last minute notice. We've been for advertising it, but we have a blood drive this Saturday. I have like a marquee sign or something, but the person that runs the blood drives has been on PTO for the past how long, so that might be part of it. We got a flyer posted on social media today and got it posted, but spread the word. We only had like half our 30 slots filled as of this morning. So hopefully with the last minute push, we can get those filled up. It'll be Saturday from 9 to 2 at the fire station. Beautiful. Excited to announce the Maine Cab Masters finally came through and the network approved our project downtown, so it'll be starting renovations probably the first week of June. That's the game plan. A few of us will be going next week to start filming the introductions and stuff like that. Neil Master, myself, and Jason Mills will be the 3 guinea pigs that will be participating in the interview process. It's a full day of filming. I don't want to really make a big announcement on the day because people gawking at us, you know. Supposedly they need like 6 hours of film time for their intro and 2 hours for our interviews. We'll probably get 7 seconds of fame. All it works. We will be using our antique engine too as part of the little ride. About a year or 2 from now, when it makes the network show, you'll get to see what it is. We're gonna try to incorporate some downtown, maybe Dunstan Hall, backdrop. I suggested that might be a good place to meet up and go from there. So we'll see if it makes the show or not. They might be putting a fence up around that corner, if that's okay with you guys, just for privacy, but also for security reasons while they do the renovation. Any objections? I know the property owners are fine with it, but I just wanna, I don't know if it'll encroach on public way. Probably shouldn't, but yeah,
As long as it's not a visual barrier for people making a turn there.
yeah.
Or I'll come take it down.
It's kind of typical for building sites, I mean.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's no different than next door, for safety reasons, put a fence up around it. I don't know if this will be a privacy fence, probably somehow just to, keep people from doing this,
They do it all the time.
They do, okay, yeah, he's got some experience with it. So. Is it more of a privacy fence or just?
It's because the
Chain.
cameras are usually in the tree going down and the neighbors are always gawking at the camera, so they can't get the amount of time. And that's what once they hang those cameras that run 24 hours, you see people going. So they put a privacy fence so you can't see them.
Do we know when this sidewalks are being done downtown? Is that this year?
Next year.
No, not this year.
Next year. Okay. But we're gonna hold off on paving our pad then until that's done, so we don't have to dig up the sidewalk twice. We had somebody lined up that's willing to do that for free for us, but I'll hold them off so I'll just say it'll be another year.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen a preliminary plan from DOT yet, so
That's what's holding it up.
there'll be a public hearing for the town gets an opportunity to have input on what's going to.
You lost your voice.
I'm losing my voice.
Or did you start smoking?
No. Something last night it started happening. I apologize, I sound.
You're a karaoke, This Sunday, Eagle Master and several junior firefighters, a few other firefighters will be doing our annual Flag Day. We go around to all the cemeteries and former member grave sites and put out fire department flags. Always a nice gesture to do, but also emotional and good for our youngsters to learn the history. So look forward to that. Monday, the 27th. Don't know, I'm sure you do, but Memorial Day breakfast will be at the fire station from 7 to 9:30. We get down a little bit earlier than our usual 10 o'clock time, so people can go to the north and do the service up at the north for 9:30. And then also we'll have a service down in the center at the conclusion of the parade, which is at 11. I've reached out to everybody that's participating in the parade. That's all ready to go. So we'll take off from Compton Hall at 11. If you have a cruiser available. And then last thing I got is Friday, May 31st. I got a few firefighters. It was supposed to be me, but I'm gonna be in court that day for a trial. So we have a few firefighters gonna be helping out at career day at the middle school for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Also gonna use it as a recruitment opportunity to hopefully get some more junior firefighters. So, all I got, unless you have any questions.
Thank you.
We're gonna have, officers that same event. Big time of the day, so we're gonna have a table set up in front of the fire departments.
Hey, start me on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good evening. The first time in a long time, I have nothing. Unless you guys have some questions. Good evening.
You. Brief is always good.
I don't have anything specific that you don't already know about.
Next, select board reports.
The May Fair is on Saturday from 9 to 1, so. The weather is looking much better than it had at the beginning of the week, so, yeah, So there's a whole bunch of people gonna be at Mayfair, lots of enterprises, so.
When the docks are going in at the boat launches.
They were right on there.
Monday.
And in on Monday.
Were they new? Were they waiting?
We had some docks that were new. We applied last year for grants from Department of Conservation. They gave us some. They wanted us to kind of mix them up. So like certain ones, they wanted like one that was at Wilson Pond to be moved. Cocknoagan and they added some, but they wanted us to move.
Neighborhood to get a new.
Some of them were good and some of them were not, so they wanted us to move them around, so we needed to get the new ones so they could make the changes, so you'll see. If you go like down here to Cocknoagan, you'll see there's a new one and then there's some old pieces. So we needed the new pieces in order to move them around to be in compliance with our contract, to put them in the way that they wanted them to be for the grant. But yes, but they're in now.
Justin, on tax acquired properties, there's the opinion of Freddie Flaherty.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
saw that.
elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So Freddie Flaherty kind of had a gloom and doom opinion, which I read. And then I sent an email off to Rebecca McMahon at MMA to see when they were going to put their stuff out today. I was at MMA most of the day today for the Workers' Comp Board. And I got a new opinion today. I haven't had a chance to read it. She said that she doesn't view it as badly as Freddie Flaherty does. But the big risk is that it appears to strip our immunity out of it. So it used to be if we took a property and we sold it, the prior owner and the new owner could sue each other if there was something wrong, but the town was left immune. It appears as though that has been removed. So if that is the case, I'm not positive how MMA feels about that. Freddie feels that way. If we are subject to getting sued 6, 7 years later, there is no way that I would recommend that you ever sell anything ever again. Like you might as well just sit on it until an owner sells it of their own volition. And then our lien's there and they'd have to pay us. So the way that Freddie views it is completely unusable for municipalities. I don't think there'll be another foreclosure sale in the state until the legislature fixes that. And MMA had no input on that at all. They did that completely on their own, under the hammer, with no discussion, anything. So it was done by lobbyists, and it appears to be done by the Realtor Association.
Really?
Shocking.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, under the hammer is when there's no debate in the chambers. It's like usually at the end of session,
Late at night.
and the presiding officer goes LD 326, no objection, bang, law. So there was no input. I even asked Reagan, right, because she's across the hall from me the other day, and I said, what did you do to us? And she goes, we never debated that. It must have been under the hammer. She was unaware of it. So it was the same. So I just got the new opinion today. It's like 6 pages. I just got it at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I haven't had a chance to read it. I'll share it with you, Joe, if you'd like to read it.
Yeah.
From MMA, but the Freddie interpretation is not good for municipalities at all.
Yeah. We got an email from a constituent. I don't know if you were copied on that. Asking questions, first of all, about the proposed beach ordinance. And then secondly, about the connection with the beach program for this summer and the beach
I
ordinance.
didn't see that.
I'll forward you the email.
Sure.
And it seems like the two kind of got mixed together because. So,
Sure.
so where are we on being prepared for the beach program this summer?
So at this point, I don't have an answer for you that I can share in this meeting.
Okay,
Uh,
it's still up in the air
Yes,
and it's because of personnel issues.
yes. I should have a decision by tomorrow. If the town attorney gets back.
Could you send us an email
Yes.
about how that gets resolved so that we
Yes.
can get back to this constituent and say, hey, This is what we can share with you at this.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I can, you all want it? I can send you all an email together.
That'd be helpful.
Yep, sure.
That way we can, if there is any controversy, we could sort of nip it in the bud.
Anything else from the select board?
Did you? I didn't receive any email about that. So is that?
Oh, I can forward it to you.
Yeah.
I did.
No. It's addressed to Monmouth. Oh, you know what? It's just to me. Sorry. I will make sure that. It came in this afternoon. Speed reading is
Yeah.
on my way to the.
I don't know if people saw this, article on in the KJ, and I guess it was on the, there's a picture of a,
We don't need to see that. No. I'm surprised
I'm
that
gonna paste.
Kent didn't have it enlarged for poster signs for dartboard.
You're gonna put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
at the RSU, budget hearing, was over here, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, Monday night, Ricky.
Ricky,
Yeah,
what did Ricky have
Ricky
to say?
did
Oh,
say-
good. I'm glad she got to see that. I just want to mention also that it's the 40th anniversary of Kent and I going to the prom together and like this
Oh.
weekend, so.
that.
Yeah, 40 years from our junior
I
prom,
haven't
so.
thought about that in a long time.
No. The reason I remember is because I'm holding a baby in the picture. So I went with Kent to the prom. Yes, and I've got a picture of me holding a baby in my prom dress with Kent, but obviously it wasn't our baby. It wasn't our baby, it was my nephew, so, but it was just a funny picture, so.
Well,
I'd have to find it, but we have,
Facebook.
yeah, but that was,
Something to talk about.
exactly. That happened. Yes. But where did the time go?
select board reports. Next public comment.
As Kristen mentioned Mayfair, I'm just gonna also bring up that the Trailblazers are doing a yard sale swap meet. Down there at the fairgrounds, yeah, on the other side there, the fairgrounds, seven to 2. On the Saturday, so yes, we too are hoping for decent weather because we've been crappy weather for the past 3 years that we've run this thing, so, yeah.
You,
We're covering the agenda. Where are we at on the trails, the new trails committee that stands on and all?
They're appointing people.
Stay tuned.
More coming out.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Cool.
There's 2 that have been appointed so far, so it's not quite enough to do anything. There's 2 more here. Now that they've got 4 or 5, it's 2 or 3 out the look. After this meeting, if they appoint them, should be enough that Jessica will reach out, have them have a meeting, elect the chair and try to get themselves organized.
is there any other public comment? So then on to, a public hearing on the proposed waste storage ordinance.
Okay, so it's 1 page here. Basically, it's just a ordinance that we sort of put before you from code enforcement. It's on the warrant. We have to have a public hearing for it because we don't have an open town meeting. So this is people's opportunity to ask questions. It's not meant to be punitive. It's just supposed to give, it would allow the code enforcement officer on a complaint, basically, to hold somebody accountable for basically piling trash uncontained on their property. So if you took household waste and started piling it around outside of your house and it wasn't in a container, that obviously brings in rodents and all kinds of things that most neighbors don't want in their properties. That's the point of this thing. It's on the warrant, so it's up to the town folks to enact or not. But this is the opportunity for anybody here that has any questions about it to ask.
Who enforces that?
The code enforcement officer.
So if somebody is doing that, you would go to their door and, hey, you can't do that? Or is it Paul that goes?
No, it would be the code enforcement officer, not the police department.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It includes businesses.
Yeah, it includes anybody. So if you have trash, it has to be in a container that's closed. I don't want anybody to think for a minute that we have a code enforcement officer who has enough time to drive around and try to find these things. So it's gonna be completely driven by complaints. So if you have somebody that's, you know, piling trash outside of their house, it's not in a container and it's getting strewn all over the place. Someone could file a complaint and this ordinance would give the code officer the authority to take corrective action or fines. To get that done. It's not a police action, it's a code officer action.
What about a compost heap that's not contained? That's just heap.
It talks about garbage being like residential household waste. So we're
That would be
really,
forbidden.
Huh?
That's forbidden.
compost, no, it's talking about like household trash, like the stuff that you would throw into the trash bin at the transfer station.
Right.
If you have that outdoors in an unsealed container,
Then that's.
and it becomes a problem for the neighbors and they file a complaint, that the code officer could make you clean it up or put it in a container with a lid. That's the idea.
This is one page of the defunct property ordinance that we tried to get passed 14 years ago. This is one page of it.
I noticed it was section 3 something, isn't it?
No, it's
No, but this was almost verbatim what was in the property ordinance that didn't get voted down.
That's not where I got it. This is like a boilerplate from our attorney from something they copied from probably somewhere else. So,
This is where we got
but
it.
it may be the same thing that you are referring to at all, but it's not from the one that was proposed previously because I didn't know it existed, so.
It never made it very far, right?
No, because it was 20 pages and included grass cutting and painting the house and the roof color and fences and all that was, but this was one page of it that dealt with trash. It was actually the first page.
And we couldn't do anything with that because you refused to take that responsibility.
No, I didn't, I was not gonna be the grass police. I was the only.
Grass, really. You have a badge for that?
So how does this affect, like if somebody,
Tell somebody to mow their lawn and that wasn't gonna happen.
if somebody has, like a rug that they tore out of their house and it's laying on the ground outside the house or things like that. I mean, that's only my question. Is it only, garbage bags full of trash or is
So,
it trash?
so this is,
trash?
so the definition is it's residential. So it's any residential waste to be disposed of is commonly referred to as trash, garbage, rubbish, refuse, recyclables, solid waste, or other similar terminology. So the point is to try to get it like what would you put in a trash bag?
Okay,
Something that's gonna drive,
vermin.
like public health type stuff, like you put trash outside the plastic bag and you let it sit there.
Okay,
That's the idea. And it talks about suitable, watertight, covered containers, including dumpsters. And then it talks about like recyclables need to be stored in a way that makes them still useful to be recyclables. So if you take newspapers and you just throw them outside and they get wet, they're no longer recyclable anymore. They're trash because you ruin them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of so it's what you would. No. Similarly, consider, like the stuff you put in a bag in your kitchen and throw out at the end of the week.
Yeah.
That's the intent anyway.
Do you have the draft in front of
I
you?
do.
Because what I'm talking about, Justin, it says 3.1 and 3.2. It looked like it was part of a larger thing.
Also, you see, section 1 is the purpose. Section 2 is the definitions, and
Okay, yeah.
section 3 is what it's actually telling you what to do.
Is there a way for the public to report this to the codes officer anonymously?
Probably not, because if you say, oh, well, I guess it depends, right? If you call
On your neighbor?
and you don't leave a phone number and you send it on a block number, then we don't have anything to give. If you send an email, it's gonna be forwardable. So if somebody wanted to know, they could get it, right? Because anything in the town office, you can get. Does that make sense?
It does, but it's gonna stop the reporting.
There's nothing we can do about that. It would be unlawful to, we can't do anything in the town office other than personnel or general assistance. That's confidential, everything. You can get my emails whenever you want.
Yeah.
Don't, please don't. It's a lot of work to put them together for you.
Yeah.
Right, chief? We just did this.
But if somebody came in person and met with Andy and.
Correct, and there was no paper,
Yeah.
then yes, it would be anonymous, other than he'd know. Wink, don't wink when you can nod, don't call when you know what I mean, it's all that.
Don't roll your eyes.
Okay. All right, sounds like a clock.
I really keep making me want to cough.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? So, on to,
Do we need
consider,
to close the public hearing?
we didn't know.
Yes, you don't have to vote though.
Vote.
Town.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All those in favor? On to, appointing Chuck Cohen to the Trails Committee.
Make a motion, we appoint Chuck Cohen to the Trails Committee.
I'll second that.
The motion by Ken, second by Chris to appoint Chuck Cohen to the Trails Committee. All those in favor? Thank you. Next is to consider appointing Garrett Peterson to the Trails Committee.
I spelled his name wrong on the agenda, but I think you wrote it correctly on his own.
I make a motion, we appoint Garrett Peterson to the Trails Committee.
I'll second that.
There was a motion by Ken, a second by Chris to appoint Garrett Peterson to the Trails Committee. All those in favor? Thank you. Next is to consider nominating
Mr.
a
Chair.
representative.
Before we go, from the Trails Committee issue, I would like to volunteer being a select board liaison to the Trails Committee. So that there's a connection.
I will make a motion to appoint Ken as the select board liaison to the Trails Committee.
I will second that.
We don't want it.
There's a motion by Chris and a second by Mr. Burgess. To appoint our representative, our select board member Ken Ackley to as a liaison to the Trails Committee. All those in favor?
I'll abstain.
Next is to consider nominating a representative to the MMA Legislative Policy Committee.
So I'd originally brought this to you so you could nominate me, hopefully. And I have to say, unless one of you want to do it, I can't. I've been nominated to be the vice president of MMA, so in that capacity, I will serve as the chair of the committee. So I can't also serve as a member of it. So, unless one of you would like to, or anybody else, you could make.
Ken volunteered.
Yes.
Yeah, it's someone else's turn to volunteer.
Mark and I are tapped out.
So how it works is there's two reps from each Senate district, so it doesn't have to be from Monmouth. It'll be somebody that's in the Senate district, so it may not be a Monmouth rep, but it'll be Field or whoever is in our group, whoever our senator district is.
But you'll be there to watch out for the best interest of them.
Yeah, I'll be a non-voting unless there's some miracle that 90 of them tie.
So does that mean anything for us if we don't appoint somebody
No.
or?
No, it's completely up to you. I had it on here before I knew, so yeah, I was gonna ask you to nominate me, but unless one of you wants to do it or you want to nominate somebody in the audience, you can do that too.
Chief?
We know Hugh doesn't want any more jobs.
This is a job that occurs during the next legislative.
Yeah, so it'd be like probably January to June, and they usually meet once a month. It's a long day, especially in the long session. It's probably 6 or 7 hours. You get free lunch, and coffee, stuff like that. But
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we table this matter to another time.
I'll second that.
Need to vote on that.
you know, you just definitely table, let it die.
Under the hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Next is to consider appointing Ginger Jordan Hillier to the Comprehensive Plan Committee.
I will so move.
I'll second.
So Joe has made a motion and Chris has seconded it to appoint Ginger Jordan Hillier to the Comprehensive Plan Committee. All those in favor?
So like I put on Facebook and stuff, there's gonna be a public hearing coming up pretty soon in the next couple weeks. So anybody who's interested in that process should participate in that. That's gonna be their chance to comment on the draft. That's been put together by Isabel, our planner. And then after that, they'll kind of move it forward. It'll be on the warrant probably next year. This is kind of the opportunity to have the give and take from the public.
Well, because I did the survey online.
Yep.
And it registered my email, I got the email about that with a nice little flyer.
Correct.
And what, June 6th, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Maybe it's 6 weeks away or something.
yeah.
We'll be here. And
Love it when you.
it's also, I posted it on our Facebook page too, so it's on there.
Oh, so it's Thursday. We have a Cumston Hall trustee meeting from 5 to 6, but the comp plan open house is at 6:30. I knew it coincided with some other meeting I had, but we'll probably be able to make it up in time if we want to go to it. I want to meet this woman whose name I can't pronounce.
Yeah, her first name's okay. Last name, I don't, do you know how to pronounce
Be
her
on the
last?
board, just use her first.
Isabel, yeah. She's very good, I think.
And we're gonna love getting her on the planning board.
Yeah, and we're gonna bring her on. She's gonna staff the planning board once we get to the new year. So she'll be reviewing the applications, making sure they're complete and everything before they even get to the planning board, so we can hopefully streamline that process. Will professionalize it a little bit. Hopefully it'll be good for everybody, the applicants and the board as well.
Yeah, most larger communities have that.
Use a planner.
Yeah.
Use the plan.
That'll be good.
Oh,
And that's already in the budget. Well, if they approve it, June.
we got a letter from Joe Blaneston about the it was the water district and what he wanted us to tentatively approve funding from the state for $2 million.
Yes, that's correct. And I asked if that was okay to put on your May 29th meeting. He said that timeline. It's okay. It'll be on your next meeting. I'd already sent out the agenda. I would have added it if it was time sensitive, but he said that was fine.
Oh, next is the, warrant 22 for fiscal year 23-24.
Before you read that, I just have a question. So we're doing, the warrant one week and then the next week we're getting
Correct. So I,
the,
now that we've kind of moved it, you get the AP warrant really
Yeah.
the week before your
Before
meeting
the
for the
meeting.
one that I'm gonna read
read
today.
today.
And the payroll is on, so the one you got this week is just payroll
Okay,
for the
Now you-
paychecks come out the same weeks that you meet.
okay,
This warrant will approve those, but they're actually processed last
Already.
week. They've already been, they don't go out until you say it's okay, but the work has been done already. So if you give us an invoice, say last Thursday, it's not gonna happen until the week after your meeting
Okay.
here. So it'll be like next week, it'll get processed.
Yeah.
Process.
Because now that we don't,
exactly.
now that we
Yeah.
don't have the firm, there's just not enough capacity to do payroll and the AP at the same,
Oh,
at the same
I see.
week, so
Yeah.
she's gotta do it over 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I'll let Dawn know that too, if I can remember how it's working then, because we always tried to meet with the academy building committee so that the week before, so that then.
Right, so basically take it. We had a little transition period, but just think of it as the payroll goes out the week that you meet.
Yes,
And the other one is the week before, so. We really need,
Or the week after.
Or the week after.
or the week
Or-
after,
So
yeah,
when you have a meeting here, it's gonna be.
yeah,
Prepaid next week.
exactly.
right, but they have to be put together
It ready.
for you folks
there.
last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, okay, I'll try to. So if our vendors want, ask a question about.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay.
And if we get into any pinch where you have anybody that's like an issue, Lori and I can write checks
Mhm.
by hand from the town office. So if we have, sometimes that happens, we have vendors that are antsy because we owe them a bunch of money and they're small. They want to have their money. We can get them their money like within days. It doesn't matter, but our typical process is that's how it's gonna work.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, mainly what we have is the Nickerson and O'Day and the architect and they're, used to
Right.
working with towns and municipalities and that lag, so.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
We're good.
I'm good.
Okay.
You answered my question. I just
All right.
tried to get it straight in my
Right, yeah,
head.
no.
Pass
So
it
payroll
along.
is on the week that you meet
Yeah.
and the other one is, it's really the week behind the week that you meet. Blue Rock Earthworks, $2,316, materials transport for the transfer station. Calderwood Engineering, $5,264. This is the preliminary work to the Anabessa Cook Dam inspection to apply for the grant.
Should be hearing from them sometime soon.
Hopefully shortly, yes. Concrete Systems, Inc., this is the big culvert for the campground, $98,176. That will, if the voters don't approve, the rest of the project will become a garage bay at the Public Works. Dennis paper, fuel, $1,425. Comain tipping fees for recycling, $1,849.50. Main equalization consultants are assessing services, $2,437. Main Technology Group, phones and IT, $2,254.64. Main Waste Energy, tipping for the transfer station for trash, $5,922. RSU number 2, $516,459. Stained Glass Express, $2,686 for the repair of the stained glass window at Cups that was broken during the storm. State of Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles, $18,502. State of Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, $3,428. Warrant total of $672,282.81.
I make a motion, we approve warrant number 22 for fiscal year 23-24.
Second.
So it's a motion by Chris, second by Kent to approve warrant 22 for fiscal year 23-24. All those in favor?
Before we adjourn here, could you tell us where we're at with the latest audit?
Yes, so it's done. The person who did the audit has completed it. It's now with Casey, who was the one that usually comes and talks to you.
Awesome.
And once he signs off on it, you will get it.
Could we have a presentation at the earliest available
I
time?
can request that from
Yep.
Casey. I'm sure he's happy to do.
We get some of this stuff covered by our insurance company, or do we have a really high deductible? Like the door at the town garage that got backed into and their stained glass window and.
I think the stained glass window, I think we filed a claim with that. We should get, that should be covered. That's just part of being storm damage.
What said it was, wasn't it? I think that stained glass window, Dennis reported that it was gonna be covered by insurance, right? From what I remember at our meeting,
I
I'm
can-
not sure. but
I'll get you an answer on what the
Yeah.
deductible is. I'm not, I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll.
Oh, and while we're talking about issues like that, the damage to the Wagon Road that we repaired internally, I know that there was some emergency FEMA money set aside to cover because it was a state of emergency. So did the town get compensated by FEMA for doing its own repairs, or how did that work?
So we will eventually. So FEMA is now annoying me every week because now once you get into the program, they meet you every week. I have to set aside a couple hours to meet with these people every week. So Tony is dealing mostly with it, but like we can also, because this was declared a disaster area, so the trees that are like in the ditch, all that, this, as long as Tony puts GPS coordinates on every time they pick one up, and take it to the dump, and they keep track of it, FEMA will reimburse us for all of that. So whether we chip it, haul it away, the Wagon Road should be completely covered by the disaster declaration. So we do the work and they reimburse us on a cost basis, which is set up through their portal. So they tell us exactly what, as long as we document it, we can prove to them what we did. And then it's so much per square foot of gravel and pavement and all that. And we have till basically till July to get all of this stuff done. So everywhere. So like they bought a whole bunch of cones because they disappeared when they put them out on the road. So those FEMA will pay for those. So there's a bunch of expenses, all of the hours that the public works and or non officer salaries of the fire department that were used during those days that are declared that. So like when fire went out and blocked roads or, put up cones, all that money we will get reimbursed from the federal government.
Okay.
So we're working on it. It's just a lot of paperwork. So we're, we're working through it.
Do you get paid to fill out the paperwork?
No, because I'm salary. They won't pay for the chief's time because he's considered salary because he has a stipend. So it's only the hourly employees. So Tony his time doesn't count either, but all the hourly employees, everything that they have done during that storm, we should get reimbursed for. So we should be getting, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting close to $100,000 back from FEMA. Just for Wagon and the culverts and the cones and the hour, like there's $7,000 worth of payroll already just for public works on those days that they get called out. And we haven't even tried to calculate fire yet, I don't think. So.
It's too bad that storm washed out that culvert on Beaver Brook and it cost.
Yeah, I should have thought of that. I would have gone over there after dark.
I actually saw Tony on Blue Road looking at culvert over and he had Herb with him. Which I thought was a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go to the source because he's got a lot of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
That's they've become good buddies. So Tony likes to play golf too. Tony's a member at the Augusta Country Club and he told Herb the other day that he'd take it. Herb said, I've never played at the Augusta Country Club. So they're gonna be good pals, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony was at the Man in Black show on Friday night too.
Yeah.
I saw him after.
Yeah, so they're gonna be good buddies. I know Herb, when Herb came back, he was over there for a
Yeah.
couple of hours chit chatting. So they're gonna be pals.
It's a good thing.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
See you tomorrow night, Mr. Lamasta.
Yes, ma'am.
Same bat station.
Stay back here.
Yeah.